So how come nobody talking about the GoFundMe no more that they got? It was damn near $1 million, half a million to a million that they got in that GoFundMe, and it went right to their pockets. And the crazy thing is, a whole nother person, that whole other lady, she made a GoFundMe and she racked up a whole lot of money too, hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions on both sides, on both on both GoFundMe. So the thing that I'm wondering is, why is nobody talking about that no more? Why ain't they say nothing about it in the press conference? Like, isn't it suspicious that, they got all this money in the GoFundMe, and it could be from anonymous. It's always, how GoFundMe works. It's anonymous. People could put money in. I had a colleague, and I sent them some money on the GoFundMe, and it says I could be anonymous. You know what I'm saying? Because people are sending a lot of amounts. The people who are sending little amounts, they want to be all anonymous. You don't want to just be like, this person sent this. So if they get all that money in them GoFundMe's and them donations, how do you know none of that money is not payment to do what happened? If it's all in the back of our minds, so I'm just bringing it to light. Like, why is it that they get paid all this money after this tragedy, and then on top of that, what makes it worse is that the stories that they said don't match up. Their words don't match up. And any good investigator would know that if you was to ask somebody a question on whatever the topic is on this case, right? And then you go and ask them at a later date, or you ask somebody else, and when you get stories that contradict each other, that's when you know it's funny business. So that's 101, that's the basics. 101 training, you learn that on your training day. If you was to be trying to figure something out, rule number one is that you're gonna need to make sure everything matches up. When you got contradicting stories like that, that's when funny business going around. And then the fact that they got all this money coming in on the back end with the donations, it's just crazy. Like, and nobody want to mention that no more. So if everybody was thinking that in the beginning, when it was fresh, you were seeing the updates of the screenshots of the GoFundMe, and anybody could go up and look at that page. But now they are already cashed out on it, so that page is gonna be gone. If you go to that page right now, you will see that it's gonna say error 404. That means that you can't find this page no more. Like, they done ran off on the plug with the bread. So that's basically what it is when somebody makes it's just like them people who be coming up to you telling you that they selling this and that for their football team. Like, boy, you don't look like you play no football or whatever. Yeah, I don't look like you should be in school right now. And it's like they pulled in a scheme, and it's some sort of, some scam type activities basically. So the fact that they got all that bread and they never really came out with, like, they went to the funeral when they were basically uninvited. Like, they should have they stayed in their own little section with security guards. Like, who are those people? What the heck? So that was one thing that, why are they not speaking on that no more? It's not like they got cleared because this thing just started. They still working on straight dropping the court and finding him a lawyer. They've been doing this for a whole over a month now. Name one case where the dude, they still try to find a look for a month. Over a month and a half. I ain't never seen that in no case. I done seen like 3-4 cases on TV that done passed by since they've been just looking for a lawyer for straight drop. And then now they give him a high profile one. Like, who gets that for a public defender? That's like you getting the best. They giving him the best lawyer to go head to head. They're gonna stretch this case. That's what the signs are. If you look at the red flags, that red flag emoji was trending. And so when you look at this, It's a red flag. Why are they giving straight drop that high profile public defender, and he's gonna give the prosecution people a hard time? They're gonna be butting heads because that guy is dang near is better than the prosecutor's team. If you really look at the facts, search him up, you're gonna see that guy has way more, you know what I mean, on his record as far as like the things he done got people out of, the jams he done got people out of, versus the prosecution. They usually keeping people locked up in the jam. So this guy can get people. The one that can get you out the jam is the one that you want to go with. So why'd they just give him that for free? It's everybody turned it down. They brought this guy in, and he probably like one of those ones. He don't actually stay in Memphis, but he can come and do any case. Like he like a Terminator type of public defender. So there's some crazy stuff was about to happen now, and you're gonna see this dude is gonna give the prosecution a hard time. I mean, with this thing. And I think the goal of this, the reason why they selected it, because they didn't just get this guy for no reason. They have a method to the madness. So when they got this guy, the real goal behind their strategy is to stretch the case out, because they done already stretched it out a month and a half to find the lawyer. Everybody was scared. This guy said he'd take it. He like the Terminator. This dude come in like it's the Super Bowl, and he's supposed to make it a close game all the way into overtime when it comes to this case. That means they're going to stretch it out and go all the way into overtime, extra innings with this. So that's just to, I think it's to give somebody like enough time to really get away, or like something, you know, they're giving somebody a lot of time. And they're giving people, whoever it is that they're trying to protect and stretch this out for, they're trying to give those people extra time to get rid of who knows what, like allegedly like evidence. It could be time to get out of town. It could be time to get their money right before they actually come and scoop them. We really don't know. But once we do figure out, I think it's gonna definitely might be a RICO that come in, and they're gonna sweep up everybody that's connected. And you know how the system works. You are technically guilty and prove yourself innocent. So they're gonna try them one by one. Once they get out the jam, they're gonna get out the jam. And the ones who will fall, because depending on the evidence that they bring forth, that's what's gonna really be the key. We need the evidence. We need the phone records. We need everything, the data, the surveillance, and the camera footage, everything. We need that. CCTV, all that, the witness footages, the surrounding, everything. So once we see that evidence, that's going to be a big factor in what happens with this case. And the problem is they're stretching it out so long that the evidence can go bad, or they're giving people who evidence that hasn't been recovered yet, they're giving too much of a lengthy time for those things to be swept under the rug, or actually damaged, or somebody can mess with the evidence and remove it from the scene or from wherever it is, if it was some evidence they took with them or who knows what, you know, because we need to find that phone. Where's the phone? We need to find his phone. Dolph's phone need to be found. We need to find his keys. We need his car keys, everything, because they haven't, you know what I mean? They haven't really came out and said nothing about that. We need to know how much money he had on him, the thing about his jewelry, like everything. So we need the records of what jewelry he wore, how many pieces individually was it, the value of all that, if he had any money in his pockets, his ID, anything like that, any business cards, anything into that realm, right? And then we need to also get his phone and his car keys, the things he's using to transportate and communicate with people with. So once we get that, that's the details that's going to be the between the lines that I could film you in on more stuff with. So just tune in to the next video and y'all going to see exactly what that stuff is. We're going to break that down. We're going to try to find it. Subscribe to the channel.